Trying to change a fluid's velocity suddenly can result in large pressure surges. An example of this was in a Firex system for a rocket engine test. Firex stands for fire extinguisher.
Okay, we have a rocket engine in our test stand down here. Things can go wrong with rocket engine tests, and when they do, you need to be able to put out the resulting fire with the Firex system. This consists of a big tank of water, which happen to be located a long ways from the stand itself. There's a valve at the tank outlet connected to a pipe that ran to the test stand. The pipe had sprinkler heads above the engine, which could douse the engine with water as necessary. This particular engine had a problem because of the Firex system. The origin of the problem was that the stand had been deactivated for a long time and the line downstream of this valve was empty. So they mounted the engine in the stand, and just before the test they enabled the Firex system, which just means that they opened this valve. Since the system was dry, water rushed out of the tank through this valve and started filling up the pipe. So this wave front of water is moving with some velocity. The water was moving pretty fast by the time it got to the end of this line. Once the line was filled with water, the water had to stop. When the water stops down here, all of that kinetic energy from the velocity has to be converted to pressure. A pressure wave starts to propagate back up the pipe. So this fairly high pressure is moving up the pipe past these sprinklers. When the pressure wave passed the first sprinkler head, the pressure was so high it sheared the threads off of the sprinkler head and fired the sprinkler into the engine, rather like a very large bullet. That relieved this pressure wave a little bit, but there was still a pretty strong pressure wave continuing to propagate up the pipe. When that pressure wave reached this sprinkler, it also fired into the engine. If I remember right, I think they fired 3 or 4 sprinklers into that poor engine before the pressure dissipated enough to be safe. Needless to say, they didn't get to test the engine that day.